the first artist who went on Young Cash. I did a record with him, and while he was recording, Pain heard the song, and he's like, "Hey, this song is fire. Who is this?" And he was like, "That's Nando." And he's like, "Nando again?"
You at that time. Like you weren't in his mind, but you got there.
Yeah, and he's like, "Again, this dude won't let up." And then he's like, "Let me hear it." And then when I got the song back, TPain had jumped on the song. I didn't even know. You know?
Cheryl here with the Rogers Revue. I managed to step out from behind the camera and do an interview with NandoSTL when he was in the middle of his tour with TPain in Washington, D.C. If you like what we're doing here, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends so we can do a lot more fun interviews and projects in the future.
I'm Cheryl Corman from the Rogers Revue. It's nice to see you on stage and talk to you. And I understand that you have done a career change over the years. You had a full-time job working, supporting yourself, and then you kind of made a maybe less abrupt than people would realize of a change to the music career. Can you like kind of give a little bit of a backstory there?
Yeah, so I was a financial advisor for Wells Fargo. I went to school at Fayetteville State University, got a degree in mathematics and was doing that. And then I was raising my kids and I just wanted to do something for me. So I started diving into rapping maybe like 3.5 years ago. And it just went a whole lot farther than I expected. This was just supposed to be a hobby. You know what I mean? This wasn't like me chasing a dream or anything. It just was something that I always loved music. So I'm like, maybe I should try it, you know?
Yeah.
I play instruments. So I play drums and piano, but I never thought about rapping or doing anything like that.
Not once, not in your earlier years, you weren't thinking, let me grab
I mean, being from like St. Louis and culturally being black, I think we've all tried. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like taking it seriously, nah. You know what I mean? Nah. I never would have thought I'd have been a rapper.
Photography is my hobby. I've been a little bit more serious about it. And it's like, okay, do you take the plunge and like really go for it? Or do you just dabble a little bit? So it's really inspiring to hear somebody who's like made that decision and it seems to have worked out for you so far. And so I understand that maybe during the pandemic, before the pandemic, when everyone's like online streaming, all that jazz, you fell into the Twitch world, or how did you make that connection with the Twitch competition?
Oh, rap. The guy who just brought you up here, is like one of my best friends in life. Okay, you know what I mean. So he's a big gamer. He's an avid Twitch.
Yes,
you know what I mean. And so he's really into like anime, things like that. So he's also a super TPain fan.
Okay.
So he always watches TPain on Twitch, and TPain had a competition, and he was like, basically he wanted to sign somebody to his label, and everybody's gonna send in their music, and we're gonna fight head to head for a record deal. So Rap called me. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning.
You gotta do this. You gotta do this. As a friend, you're gonna step into the zone and give it a shot.
Yeah. So I was like, why not? You know, again, not taking it too serious, and we got in. Well, no, we actually sent the song in, and Pain didn't like it. We didn't get in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we didn't get in. And then that's when I was like, my personality is like, oh, you don't like me? Well, watch this. So then now we sent in another song and we ended up getting in. And then there was like 600 people we picked. He picked the top 600. And then we battled it out week for week. Top 300, top 150, top 16, top 8, all the way down top 4. And then I made it down to the top 2.
Nice.
Yeah, and I lost by 0.8.
Like bittersweet, you made it
0.8.
so far, but not quite across the finish line.
Yeah, so it was like, it felt like we had lost the Super Bowl, for real, you know? But I reached out to him, and he had just hit me back immediately. I reached out to TPain and on Instagram, and he hit me back, and he was like, don't worry about it. We had decided we were signing you like weeks ago, dude. You just couldn't say it online.
It's like, why didn't you tell me that? I would have been less worried.
Yeah. But I guess he still wanted to, you know what I mean, be fair. You know what I mean? And the other guy won. Congrats to him.
Yep.
But, yeah, now we're here. I've been going hard ever since.
I will say it has been so surreal. Again, like yesterday, I was like, we had a slight adjustment we had to make. So I was doing the research. And along with everyone else during the pandemic, you lived online for a bit. So I did stumble upon TPain's Twitch channel. I think he was... the Rust server was getting big. So they had some gaming friends. They had no idea what they're doing. And then... like, I think even a week ago, you know, it's online, let's see what they're doing. And like a just chatting or music in somebody's living room. Yeah. And then we're here tonight. Yeah. You're on stage, he's on stage. You go from lurking in the chats and like
to
maybe
being in person.
Talking to like meeting in person. So that is so surreal.
It is. It could be crazy.
Was there any point that stood out to you where it's like, to take this plunge, I didn't win, I'm going to do it, but like, I think there was an article that somebody had written where I gave you a good briefing on your background. They said you drove 4 hours to one of his shows.
I did. So after he told me that we were going to sign you anyway, I'm the type of person that all I need is this much. You know what I mean? You give me this much, I will take it the rest of the way. I don't like to depend on anything. So he had a show in Chicago. I'm from St. Louis. Mm-hmm. So it's literally the distance from New York to DC. It's kind of like that. That's how we're like cousins. So I drove to Chicago, snuck into the show. He was there.
He helped sneak you in. Just, like, put on the baseball cap, just bum rush.
Yeah, that's it. We snuck backstage. We met him. And that actually like helped. You know what I mean? He just was like, okay, you were willing to go all the way.
Exactly. You put the effort in and you make it happen.
Yeah. And after that, I started sending music over to the label. That's the first artist who went on Young Cash. Mm-hmm. I did a record with him. And while he was recording, Pain heard the song and he's like, hey, this song is fire. Who is this? And he was like, that's Nando. And he's like, Nando again?
You at that time. It's like you weren't in his mind, but you got there.
Yeah. And he's like, again, this dude won't let up. And then he's like, let me hear it. And then when I got the song back, TPain had jumped on the song. I didn't even know, you know? Yeah, they should have warned me. I almost crashed my car. You know what I mean? When I heard his voice.
So was it one of your friends keeping the secret who heard it first and was like, oh, I'm not going to tell him. I want to see his face.
Cash. No, Cash sent it back. So I sent it to him. He did it. He didn't tell me Pain jumped on it, and he just sent it back. So I heard Cash's verse, and I'm like, okay, this is great. And then I heard Pain come in with the auto-tune, and I was like, what the fuck?
It would be a gold mine if somebody knew and was like taking a video of you seeing your face reaction when he
that was
came
crazy.
Out with that verse.
I cried a little bit. I definitely cried a little bit.
I could see that. That's so surreal.
Yeah. And then ever since then, before that I started taking it really serious, but ever since we got here, I've really, really been going hard, you know. I kind of linked up with some cool people at home. I dropped a song with Nelly.
I know.
He's like one of the biggest artists to come out of St. Louis. So
I know. I remember from back in the day, Nelly, when MTV did really good music videos and it was all music. You know, I remember Nelly's songs being on there a lot. And so, what was it like to have grown up, listened to, idolized, like really respected them, and be like, I'm going to be working with it?
Yeah. I think that part was really, really nice. You know what I'm saying? I love that part. I think the part that is like amazing to me is that we're friends.
Yeah.
After we left the studio, I hang out with Pain. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Me and Nelly were just together on the 4th of July. Like, you know what I mean?
So cool.
You know what I mean? We play cards. Like that's it's not just music. You know what I mean? I think those are the parts where it's just like sometimes I check my phone and it's a FaceTime from somebody and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm friends with this person, you know? Like
we'll get back to the 4th of July in a second, but you know, there was Nerd Culture DC. We had an awesome con not too long ago, and they had a panel with Lord of the Rings with Sean Astin, Elijah Wood, and Andy Serkis. And one of the nuggets of information that blows everyone's mind is Sean Astin was like, it's not necessarily how you perform on set or on screen, it's what you do outside of it, like becoming friends, being able to work with people, and it's like can take your career so much further than you ever imagined. Absolutely. It is more of a who you know what I mean situation. Unfortunately, that's how it is still this day. You know, talent can get you so far, but if you know people and you can slip your work in front of the right people, then that can get eyes on it. But you know what works in my favor? Because I'm older, 31, right? I think is that since everything is digital, everything is an email, that a lot of the newer rappers that come out don't have real people skills. You know, I'm used to meeting someone. So I'm the person who will walk up and start a conversation with you when they'll just wait and send you a DM. You know what I mean? So I always win in those situations. That's great. For me, like, I have to be in the right headspace to do that, which I guess today is perfectly fine. Other days I'd be like, don't know how to handle this. But it's great having this kind of conversation. And so going back to 4th of July, this is a question I had for later on. But what is the favorite food at the cookout? I'm a hot dog man. I am very simple. I love hot dogs. I love hot. It doesn't even have to be. See, as a joke, I was putting together quick fire food things. I was like, hot dogs or hamburgers. No, I'm like, no, I can't ask it. Who would pick hot dogs? You are a over a hamburger? Absolutely. Sometimes hamburgers are dry. I've never had a dry hot dog. But you can, well, I mean, I guess you could put bacon on a hot dog, but that would, like, you gotta have the right toppings.
You've never had bacon on a hot dog?
I'm less
Bacon,
of a,
mac and cheese? Oh my god.
how do you eat that without making a complete mess of everything?
Oh, you make a mess. It's horrible. It's horrible. But definitely.
You talk about mac and cheese and bacon. I'm like, I love those things individually. Put them together. I guess I'll have to try that sometime because that could change my mind about hot dogs.
It's a food truck in St. Louis called Doggy Max that sells that.
Ooh.
Yeah, and when I used to go on break at work at Wells Fargo, I used to go straight to that food truck every day.
It's been amazing to see how food trucks have exploded over the years because the quality of the food, it's worth the wait. If you find the good food trucks, and even if there's a huge line, totally worth it.
Yeah, definitely. I love food trucks.
Yeah. If you had to pick one, what would it be? Toasted ravioli, gooey butter cake,
or
pork steak?
Pork steak.
Okay, that was quick and easy.
Pork steak. I'm going pork steak. Pork steak is still barbecue. Ooey butter cake is really, really good, but it's very similar to pound cake.
Okay.
Have you ever had it?
No, until he sent me these, I'm like, what are two of
Yeah,
these?
ooey butter cake is very similar to pound cake. It's like pound cake and lemon cake put together.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That taste is kind of unique. And toasted ravioli.
So that I've had, but pork steak. Can you explain what pork steak is for the uninitiated?
It is a magical world of cholesterol. You know, like it's like steak, except for sometimes steak can be too tough if you don't get it cooked right.
Yes.
Pork steak, it doesn't matter. You can boil that shit to high heaven, and it's still gonna be tender.
So is that with barbecue sauce on it as well, or is it just?
Oh yeah, a little potato salad on the side.
Yes.
Oh, and some bread, regular bread.
Regular.
Don't toast it. Just regular slice of bread.
Okay.
And that's it. That's
so like
how you
the
do
traditional barbecue place where you're like, why do they have the slice of bread? It's
That's
to get
what
all
it's
the
for.
meat juices. And left everything.
Exactly. Exactly. Pork steak for sure.
Yeah.
Fun fact about toasted ravioli: we do not eat that shit.
Okay.
Like we laugh at y'all when y'all eat it.
Every once in a while,
St.
I'm
Louis
like,
people
what
do not
is
eat that.
this? And you try it and you're like, this is interesting, I guess, but it's not for me. So I grew up in a place that had a lot of Italian immigrants, so there's like lots of good Italian food.
Yeah.
And so you're like, what is this ravioli thing?
Yeah.
Give it a shot and you're like,
it's not bad. It's just, if you're from St. Louis, that's not something you would pay for on the menu. Brad, when the last time you had toasted ravioli?
About 3-4 years ago.
See that? When the last time you had toasted ravioli? We don't eat it. It's not a thing.
versus pork steak, was that like the 4th of July?
I just had a pork steak earlier.
Wait, where did you find one? Did you give a recommendation? Was there one in DC that you...
Here's the thing, we cook pork steaks ourselves.
Yeah, it's barbecue.
Yeah.
Oh, Rab is like the barbecue master.
Yeah.
He has on socks now, but usually he's doing the sandal khaki dad outfit.
Yeah.
And he is killing on that.
I like cooking. I hate doing the dishes.
Oh,
That is
yeah.
always, I'm like, should I cook or not? Do I want to do the dishes? Usually the answer is no.
Yeah, oh yeah, we're doing dishes for him.
I know, it's the worst.
Only thing worse is laundry. Folding laundry sucks.
Yeah. So do you still have a few more minutes, or do you
We're chilling.
Okay. I have a lot of friends who used to be in band, specifically marching band back in the day,
Okay.
which I also know you did some of that.
Yep.
So I would be remiss if I didn't ask a question like, going from the journey you had of, in high school, marching band, that group of friends, the troubles, carrying around all your instrument out in the hot, sweaty, moving around, to where you are today, what kind of advice would you give to those band kids?
That is possible. It's possible. And even though it might not seem like it, being in band, there are a lot more people who were in band in the music industry than we see.
Yeah.
They're just usually not the face of it, And like my number one saying is, behind every cool person is a nerd. Just letting you know that. That cool guy has no idea what the fuck is going on. It is the nerd that is wiping his face or her face every second, getting this shit working. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think being that person who actually understands how music works, because it's an art, helps me all the time.
Well, because when I was reading up on you, you were kind of doing that behind the scenes thing for a few years, right?
Yeah.
Before making that jump in front of the camera
Yeah.
with a mic and everything.
Yep.
So you kind of learned the ropes and understood how all the pieces fit together. And then when you were ready to go for it, you're like, I have the skill set. I've got the toolbox.
That's it.
I can do it.
Yeah, I just started rapping. Like I said, it was a hobby until we did a show. And then this one person asked to take a picture for me, to take a picture with me.
Yeah.
And then he just was like, I love your music. And when they said that, it like changed everything. I'm like, I should probably take this shit seriously if you love it. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm gonna let you down now. It's a lot of pressure. I didn't know you loved it.
And there's that thing of like, if you love it and it's a hobby and it becomes your job,
Yeah.
do you lose some of that joy that
Yes.
you have every day? So
Yes.
has that kind of been your experience now that you made that transition, or it's still like that love is pushing you through?
I think it's both. You lose some of the love for it as being a hobby, but you gain the love for the possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that's how it works. It's like when you work a job for a certain amount of time, when you first get hired, you're excited, you're telling everybody, you know. But then when you've been there, you met your boss, you might not like a few people. Now you're just like, I need a day off from this place, you know. I think that's anywhere that you work really, really hard, you have those moments.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the other thing is that I take it so serious. I put in the work every day. I write a song every day. Like I'm doing something every day. And not only just me, it's not just me. Like I said, TPain Rap was an avid follower. Now he got a Nappy Boy shirt on too. Like we're all here, and it was because of something, an idea I had in my grandmother's basement 4 years ago. So I value that, you know.
So even if it's like piece of shit writing, you're like, as if I got it out of my head, down on paper, that's practice, that's something, it might lead to something further on, but just keep writing.
Yeah. So what happens is a lot of times it is shit, but you, out of all of that shit, you always have like one line that's gold. And then later it comes back and I'm like, the one line from that piece of shit I wrote is going to fit right here. It's like a puzzle piece. But if I would have never wrote that, I would have never got here. You know, It's all chess. I love it though. I wouldn't change shit for the world.
Nice. So I have one question I want to end on, but before we do that, is there any back and forth or anything you want to put out there about the experience or the tour that's going on right now? Or what's
the tour. This is my first tour.
First ever.
Yeah. So, like, the response we've been getting is crazy. Like, I first started, only had, like, a 10-minute set, and now we're up to, like, 25, 30 minutes. So, I've been killing it. And, you know what I mean? Every time Pain is like, add another song.
You get that energy rush. You're
yeah.
Like,
so, it's been a phenomenal experience, and it's just, I don't know. I'm glad I got picked, you know?
Yeah.
Because this is something I'm going to talk about.
Or not picked, because then you were able to show your perseverance.
Exactly.
And be like, I'm not going to take
No for an answer.
Or what I tell a few people is, you know, the answer is always no unless you ask. So if you're too afraid to ask or too afraid to put yourself out there, you're never going to get it.
No.
But if you try, sometimes that no could turn into a yes.
That's very true. That is very true. I like that.
So what other cities have you been to for the tour so far? Or where are you going?
We have been to Wisconsin, Chicago, Detroit, Maryland, Memphis.
So I have to ask, some of those are very in a similar category. Wisconsin, how was that compared to the other cities that you went to?
That shit was nuts. Let me tell you about that. The places that you least expect are always the places that are the easiest.
Okay.
No disrespect to those places, but they don't really get much. So when they get it, they appreciate it.
They
you know
are
what I mean?
excited. They're like, these people are coming here. We're going to go all out.
The whole city is there.
Well
Everything is shut down. Yeah,
Right.
everything is shut. Same thing happened in Denver. Like the signs for TPain were like in restaurants and you know what I mean? Video rental stores.
It's like the old school community is like, there's one thing coming to town. Everybody show up.
Everybody's
and be
going.
there.
Everybody's going. Yeah. So like here's a concert probably tomorrow. You know, here. You know what I'm saying? So it's still special, but it just doesn't hit like those places. So in Wisconsin, it was a festival. That's what it was like this. We started there. That's why it's called the Escape from Wisconsin. And Chance the Rapper was there.
Okay, yeah.
Chloe Bailey was supposed to be there. She fell off. Like she hurt her leg, so she couldn't come. Bow Wow was there. Lil Scrappy was there. Afro Man was there. It was so many people. Who else was there?
Scrappy.
Taylor Bennett.
You said Bow Wow.
Bow Wow, Afro Man, DJ Paul, 3-6 Mafia.
Yeah.
It was a lot of people. It was nice.
Sounds like a fun time.
Yeah.
So if people are thinking about setting up a tour, Wisconsin, grab some of your friends. That's the place to go.
That is one of my other things that I'm advising artists. Go to the places that nobody goes. So if you're up and coming, don't go to Atlanta. There's 83 million things, and they're not gonna want to see you. If you go to Savannah, without that many people go, they don't even care who you are. It's a better chance for them to come see you because people want something to do on a Saturday in Savannah.
Someone new, something to do. Might
That's
as well
it.
check it out.
That's it. They usually have one venue or two venues, a big one and a small one.
Yep.
Go to the small one and just go.
Fill it up.
That's
have
it.
a fun time.
That is it.
Yeah.
That is it. So our next tour is going to be in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and all type of odd places.
Nice.
For sure.
Most difficult, maybe most controversial question of
Okay.
the interview. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
If I were to go to St. Louis and I'm looking for barbecue, where should I go?
C&K. C&K barbecue. Easy.
You all agree with him?
I don't know if that was controversial. It's either C&K or I don't even know if Rogers is still open. I don't think
People
Rogers.
have very specific opinions about barbecue, so you never
Yeah.
know. It's either the whole city is in for one spot, or there could be some rivalry going
Yeah.
on between different barbecue places.
Oh yeah, nah. I'm a city boy, so I grew up the street from C&K. I used to walk there when I was like 6 and get pork steak sandwiches, pork steaks, and yeah. So I'm always going with them.
Nice.
Everybody goes there. Cedric's Entertainer goes there. Chinky's there. Everybody's. This is the hood family owned barbecue spot, and it's been there for 30 years.
Nice.
So, 40 years.
That's definitely the place to go. I will add it to the list if I ever make it out that way. And I'll try to check it out.
Dinner's on me.
I'll be
I
like,
got
when are
you.
you in town? I need to try that barbecue place
For
you're
sure.
talking about. Well, thank you very much for taking the time, and I hope
Always.
you enjoy the rest of the tour as much as you've enjoyed it so far, and
Yeah.
everything goes well.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. We're coming back. We got to link back up.
Yes,
sure.
definitely. Thank you.